today let us see about another classification model. It's SVM, that is Support Vector Machine. So let us see the key takeaways for today's session. Firstly, we will see an introduction to classification. Then let us see how SVM is and what SVM is, that is introduction to SVM. Then let us see about the various types of SVM we have, that is linear SVM, detailed discussion on linear SVM, then non-linear SVM, then advantages and disadvantages of SVM, followed by certain assignments. So SVM is basically a support vector machine algorithm. It is a classification algorithm which works by drawing a line and separating the classes. So it has very good advantages when compared to the other machine learning algorithm, and very popularly used for classification. It could be also used for regression, but it is more popular for classification. Let us see more about SVM. So firstly, let us see what is classification. It is basically a task of assigning a category to a new observation based on the knowledge that is gained from a set of categorized observation, that is the training set. You can use the object characteristics to identify which class or category it belongs to, the specific class belongs to, or the specific object belongs to. Like for example, you have a mail, right? It could be a spam or it could be a not spam when it is dropped into the inbox. Right? So if it is having some mail, some spam characteristics, it will be classified as spam, and if it is not having any such characteristics, then it will be classified as non-spam. Then also you can have a patient who is going to be basically diagnosed whether he is going to have some disease or not. So the classification would be whether he has a disease or not. So SVM is basically used for classification. So SVM, as I told you, stands for Support Vector Machine. It's a supervised machine learning algorithm or a model, and that uses the classification algorithm for two group classification problems. So it is basically more useful for binary group or binary class classification problems. So it can be used for classification as well as regression problems, but it is more popular for classification problems in machine. So the goal of SVM is basically to create the best line or the decision boundary, that is the best line that can separate or segregate the n-dimensional space into various classes, so that we can easily put the new data, which is a new observation, that is a new data point, in the correct category in the future whenever it is occurring. So the best decision boundary is called as a hyperplane. So it is the line, best line that can differentiate between the different data sets. So these are basically the parts of SVM. You have support vector, you have the decision boundaries, you have the hyperplane. These are basically the main parts of SVM. Let us see with respect to a diagram. So here you can see a graph, right, and in which x1 and x2 is plotted, and you have the various hyperplanes that are shown, and you have the support vector. So this is basically special points in the data set. Right? Here you can see you have a green one and you have a blue one, which is very close to the negative hyperplane, and one blue is very close to the positive hyperplane. So these are the points which are basically the support vector special points. Now there is a decision boundary. You can see the maximum hyperplane, that is the maximum margin. So these are the two lines that will we see along the side of the hyperplane. That is the positive margin and the negative hyperplane, or positive hyperplane and the negative hyperplane. And then we have the main hyperplane is the central line, which is basically trying its best to separate the points. You can just have a look at the various hyperplanes we have. It is the maximum margin hyperplane, that is your main hyperplane, that is the central line. Then you have the positive hyperplane, and then you have the negative hyperplane. Negative hyperplane is separating the green points, and the positive hyperplane is separating the blue points. So support vector machine basically takes input as a mixed data, which is basically combination of all different types of data. And when you give an input, such input to the SVM, right, it will try to separate the classes, right? It could be used for multi-class classification also. So how many classes are available and how many features are matching with this particular class, that can be mapped out. So the idea of SVM is basically very simple. The algorithm creates a line or a hyperplane which basically separates the data into the classes. So SVM is an algorithm basically that takes the data, which is basically a mixed data as the input, and outputs a line and separates those classes if possible. Now here you can see, as I told you, SVM works with linear as well as non-linear data. So here you have a linear data and it is basically going in the, maybe it could go in the positive direction or it could go in the negative direction, but this is always going to be a straight line. So on a plane, a linear function is a function where the graph is a straight line. This is always going to be a straight line. It could either increase in the forward direction or it could decrease in the reverse direction, but it is always going to be a straight line. So the line can go in any direction, but it is always a straight line. So this is basically linear data, and you can see it is a separable data. The data can be separated by using a line. Now non-linear data are basically those data which cannot be separated by a line. A line will not work there, or you have to have multiple lines. So making a decision is going to be a problem. So it's not a straight line basically. Here you can see the plus and the squares are separated by using a circle. So such type of data where line cannot be separated, line cannot be used for separation of the data points is called as non-linear data. Now SVM, again, as we have linear data and non-linear data, so SVM is also going to be of two types, that is linear and non-linear. So linear SVM is basically linearly separable data. It works with linearly separable data, which means that if a data set can be classified into two classes by using a single straight line, then such data is basically termed as linearly separable data, and the classifier is basically called as linear SVM classifier. Then we have the non-linear SVM classifier. This basically works on the non-linearly separated data, and which means the data cannot be separated, the data set cannot be separated by classifying, cannot be classified by using a straight line. So then such data is termed as non-linear data, and classifier is used, and the classifier that is used is basically called as non-linear classifier. Now how does this linear SVM basically works? Now suppose we have two different data sets, right, or the rather tags, that is green and blue. You have the blue in rhombus shape and the green kind of circle shape. So they basically would be having, say, two features, that is x1 and x2. Now we have a classifier, rather we want a classifier that can classify the pair of features, that is x1 and x2, of the coordinates in either green or blue. Right? So based on the characteristics, the line would be drawn which will separate the two different groups of data. So here we can see we have a 2D space. So by just using a straight line, we can easily separate these two classes. Here you can see, but there could be multiple lines, right? We have a red line and we have a green line. So we have to see which line is the best line that can separate these classes. So SVM algorithm basically helps find the best line. So as we can have multiple lines, SVM will help us in finding the best line or the decision boundary. And this best decision boundary or region is called as hyperplane, as we saw previously. So SVM algorithm finds the closest points of the lines from both the classes. So these points are called as support vectors. The one I told you is the green and the blue, which is closer to the hyperplanes, that is positive hyperplane and negative hyperplane. The distance between the vectors and hyperplane is basically called as the margin, and the goal of SVM is to maximize these margins so that the points are separated appropriately. The hyperplane with the maximum margin is called as the optimal hyperplane. Now for non-linear data, basically we cannot draw a straight line as we discussed, right? So to separate such data points, we need to add one more dimension, that is called as z, and here basically you can see we have added a z, right? So for linear data we use two dimensions, that is x and y. So for non-linear data we will add a third dimension, that is a z, and it can be calculated as z equal to x2 plus y2. So by adding the third dimension, the sample space will become as shown as shown in the figure. There you can see Z, right, and you can see X. One of them will be hidden because we are basically trying to see it in a 2D plane. So we can separate this by using such three-dimensional space. Let us see more about it. So SVM will basically divide the data set into classes in the following way. Here you can see in the diagram, right? You can separate the green dots are separated separately, and the blue triangles are separated separately. The sample space becomes in the form that is shown. So the best hyperplane is also shown here. Now as we have added the 3D space, it will be looking like a plane parallel to the x-axis, right? So if we convert it to 2D space, 2-dimension space with z equal to 1, then it will become as it is shown in this figure. So hence we get a circumference that is with z equal to 1, right? The radius of that circle in case of non-linear data is going to be 1. Now there are various applications for SVM as it is listed. It could be used for face detection, it could be used for classification of various images, it could be used for text and hypertext classification or categorization. Then it could be used for various types of other classifications like handwritten recognition. It could be used for bioinformatics. It could be used for protein fold and many other applications, right? So it could also be used for geo and informational categories. Right? So handwritten recognition is one of the major applications for SVM. So these are some of the applications where SVM can be applied. Now let us see some of the advantages and disadvantages. Any system which has advantages is bound to have disadvantages. So SVM works well when there is a clear margin of separation between the points. When there is a appropriate hyperplane that is drawn and there is a maximum space between them, then SVM works the best. So SVM is also very effective in high dimensional spaces, or the model scales relatively well to the high dimensional space. Whenever there is high dimension space, SVM works the best. It works in a very effective manner. So SVM is also effective in cases where the number of dimensions is greater than the number of samples. And because it works in a very effective manner, also it can use the relatively memory efficient is going to be very good. Then SVM maximizes the margin between the two classes in a feature space characterized by the kernel function. It has various kernel functions, and at times it becomes a problem to which kernel function works the best. So it is basically useful for both linear separable and non-linear separable, as we have seen. And SVM provides a compliance to semi-supervised learning models also. Right? It can be used in areas where the data is labeled as well as unlabeled. It works with both supervised as well as unsupervised, that is semi-supervised. So it only requires a condition to minimize the problem, which is known as transductive SVM. It's termed as transductive SVM. So it is basically a minimization problem. And as I told you, our system has advantages, it is also going to have disadvantages. One of the major limitations of SVM algorithm is it is not suitable for large data sets, and it does not perform very well when the data set has more noise, and basically with the noise what happens is the target classes will overlap. And in cases where the number of features for each data point exceeds the number of training data set samples, then SVM is not going to perform well. In such cases it can underperform. And as the support classifier works by putting data points above and below the classifying hyperplane, there is no probabilistic explanation for the classification. So at times there could be no proper classification, or there could be no proper explanation for the classification that is basically done by the SVM. Now SVM basically has difficulty in incorporating the background knowledge as well. So at times that there are certain background knowledge which needs to be incorporated. So it is difficult for SVM to manage with the background noise. And there are various kernels I told you. The choice of kernel is one of the biggest limitation of the for the support vector machine algorithms. And considering so many kernels that are present, it becomes very difficult to choose the right one for the data. So it depends on which data works well with which particular kernel. So SVM is incapable of handling text structures, right? So this leads to loss of sequential information and thereby leading to worse performance. So it can have worse performance at times when it is basically handling text structures. So these are some of the assignments for today's session. You can just have a look at it. And this is just very much related to SVM, that is how linear and non-linear SVM work, and working principle of SVM mastery. So if you have any queries, do not forget to contact me at the specified email ID. And stay connected, we'll be learning more about ML. Thank you. We are done for today.